When I did this film, I didn't realize what was exactly the difference between today and the early 90s and this struggle. But I realized very quickly that, of course, there was this big difference of social network. And I would say I'm a little bit concerned nowadays because I have this feeling that people are very radical on internet, and they are putting on Facebook very radical text about their politics point of view. But people don't meet so much. And so, when we were in ACT UP, there was this thing which was very strong, is that before confronting the governments, confronting the laboratories, we were confronting each other. So we had to talk, and we had to define a point of view about every subject that was involved in this epidemic. So I think the fact that we were meeting in the flesh was very important because it was a very incarnated struggle, I think. And because, we went through the 80s, the beginning of the epidemic for me was very hard because I felt very lonely, and I think the gay men and a lot of people who were touched by this disease, we didn't communicate because, of course, we didn't have the social media. So to be in ACT UP was a way it was really something there was a kind of jubilation to be together and to confront each other, even if it was hard, as you can see in the film. But I think now the social media are killing a little bit the political hopes. I have this feeling it's too much talking, writing, I think, and not so much confronting ideas to make the best of the ideas to come. I have this feeling. I must say that my previous films were a little bit more mute. I mean, they were not talking so much. And in this film, you have moments in the beginning of the film, in the major part of the film, you have a lot of dialogue, and the end, when the first character is getting very ill, the dialogue disappears a lot. So I tried to confront, because for me, these people are having debates in an amphitheater, and they are talking, and this amphitheater for me is like a brain, where people are creating new way of making the people realize what's this epidemic going on. So it's like a brain, and it's a very specific part of the film. And when they are imagining actions, you can see the action, but it's like another film. And for me, it's like you have this scene of debates which are very realistic, and the rest is not so realistic. It's like kind of a fantasy film for me. All the action and all, even the clubs, the scene when you can see people dancing in the dark, and it's like a negative of the amphitheater. The amphitheater is so white and with walls, and in the club you don't see walls and it's so dark. And I love this idea of confronting different dimension, different space-time in the film. You have the space-time of the debate, you have the space-time of the actions, and you have the space-time of the club. And it works for me like this. I try to make this thing evolve together during the first part of the film.